So welcome everyone. In this video we will be talking about iodimetry, which comes under the topic of our redox titration. Okay, so we will discuss its principle and the reactions which are taking place, as well as its applications. And in the next video we will talk about iodimetry, which is another important topic of our redox titration. Okay, this iodimetry and iodometry, IODO, these both are very important topic, or we can say the most important topics under our redox titrations, and these are often very much asked along with their difference. So we will talk about all that very soon. In this video our main focus is on our iodimetry. Okay, one basic difference which is between both of these, I would like to tell you that this iodimetry, as you can see, it is IODI. This iodimetry is a direct method of analysis. Okay, you can remember it by DI in iodimetry and DI in direct. Okay, so this iodimetry is a direct method of analysis, whereas the iodometry is the indirect method of analysis, and that you will understand that how this is direct and how that is indirect when we will talk about their principles and reactions. But in this video we will only cover the iodimetry topic. So now let us begin. Let me just erase this. So here is the iodimetry. It is a redox titration which follows the direct method of analysis. So now let us see its principle, and then we will see its reactions, and then we will understand its principle better. So in this what happens that known volume of standard iodine solution is titrated directly with the reductant, which is to be determined using starch as an indicator. Okay, so here we have any kind of reducing agent which we need to determine. So we will titrate our standard solution of iodine with that reducing agent by using our starch as an indicator, and the endpoint is detected by the change of blue color to the colorless. So now let us see the different reactions that are taking place in this titration. Okay, so here are the reactions, or we can also say the various steps of this iodimetry. So very first what is happening, that a standardized iodine solution is taken in the conical flask and starch indicator is added. Okay, so we take our conical flask, in that we take our standardized solution of iodine and we add our starch indicator. So what will happen that the iodine in the flask will react with our starch indicator to give blue colored solution. Okay, so now when the starch indicator will be added, the color of the solution will become blue. Okay, this is what is happening in step 1. So now what will happen, that when the starch indicator has been added and the solution turns blue, the solution is then titrated with the analyte solution, and here we are taking sodium thiosulfate as our analyte solution, which is a reducing agent. Okay, so now oh, I'm sorry again. So now when iodine is being the solution is then titrated with the analyte solution. Okay, so when the titration is being carried out, the iodine in the flask will react with the thiosulfate ions, and this iodine, what will happen, this iodine will get reduced. Okay, this iodine will get reduced to form iodide ions. Okay, so now at the equivalence point what will happen, that all the iodine will react with the sodium thiosulfate, and the solution will turn colorless. Why? Because all the iodine is reduced to the iodide. Just now I said that when the titration will begin, the iodine will react with the sodium thiosulfate and it will get reduced to the iodide. So at equivalence point what happens, that no more iodine is being left in the flask, because all of the iodine has been reduced into the iodide. Okay, so what happens, that now in the flask we only have the iodide ion. So these iodide ion, they do not produce blue color with the starch indicator, so that is why the solution will become from blue to colorless. And when the solution will become colorless, we will know that all the iodine has been reduced to iodide, and that will mark the end point of our titration. Okay, so I hope this is clear to you. So directly only we took a standard solution of iodine and we titrated that with the analyte solution of a reducing agent, and here we took sodium thiosulfate as our reducing agent. Okay, so this was all the principle and the reaction in our iodimetry titration. Now let us talk about its applications. So the very first and important application of iodimetry is that it is used to determine the concentration of reducing agents in the solution. Just now we took the example of sodium thiosulfate. Okay, so this is the major use of iodimetry, that it is used to determine the concentration of reducing agents in the solution. An example is sodium thiosulfate, arsenious oxide, stannous chloride. These are examples of some reducing agents which are determined by using the iodimetry. Now the second application is that it is used for performing assay of certain substances like ascorbic acid, sodium ascorbate. This is its another use. Now its third use is that iodimetry titration is used for the determination of drugs such as analgin, which is a painkiller, and acetarsol, which is an anti-infective agent. Okay, so these are just a few applications of our iodimetric titration. So I hope you like this video, and in the next video we will talk about iodometric titration, which is another important topic. So thank you so much for watching. Have a good day.